In 1984, a man auditions for Press Your Luck after traveling 3 days from Ohio to California. He adores the show and brings producer Bill a souvenir plate featuring the mascot. He normally works in air conditioning repair and drives an ice cream truck during the summer. The audition is suddenly interrupted when Sylvia, an assistant, reveals that the man used a fake name. He had taken the slot of a contestant who arrived late. His real name is Michael, and he's immediately thrown out. Bill is disappointed. He genuinely liked Michael, but casting director Chuck refuses to hire someone dishonest. Then they hear a strange noise outside. Bill looks out and sees Michael's ice cream truck, which he had driven the entire way, stalled in the parking lot. Impressed by Michael's determination, Bill tells him to clean himself up and return the next morning to appear on the show. Later, Michael visits a thrift shop and buys a jacket at a discount by pretending a button is missing. He secretly tore it off and then sews it back on afterward. The next day, Sylvia gives Michael and the other contestants a studio tour. They pass through fictional sets before reaching the game show stage. Michael tries to peek behind the scenes, but Sylvia stops him. Then the contestants wait in a room where they watch the show as it films. Eventually, Sylvia brings Michael and two other players backstage to meet host Peter and the mascot. They take their seats, and the audience cheers as filming resumes. Ed is the returning champion, and Janie is another newcomer. Michael, nervous but composed, talks about his modest job and mentions his family watching at home. Peter explains the rules. The first person to buzz in answers the question, the others can agree or choose their own answers. A correct buzz-in earns 3 spins, agreeing with a correct answer gives 1, and wrong answers earn nothing. Janie gets the first question right, so everyone earns spins. Michael buzzes too early on the second question and gets it wrong. Ed gets the third correct, and both players agree for more spins. Michael finally gets the fourth question right. During a short break, Michael tries to make a phone call, but Sylvia reminds him it's not allowed. After the break, Peter rotates the contestants' chairs toward the big board, a huge screen showing prize squares and a flashing light that stops when a contestant hits their buzzer. Players can take the prize or pass their spins. Since Michael's score is lowest, he goes first. His first 2 spins land on $2,000 and then $1,500, plus a free spin. Unfortunately, his third spin hits the show's mascot, the whammy, wiping out all his money. He blurts out a curse, which mortifies the production team because it can't be used in a family show. After reviewing the tape and finding it unfixable, they make him redo the moment. Michael apologizes after a scolding. Ed and Janie play next, earning $4,000. Meanwhile, Michael studies the big board's light patterns. During the next break, he begs Sylvia for a chance to call home because it's his daughter's birthday. She lets him try, but no one answers, and Michael curses again. When play resumes, Michael, still in last place, times every spin perfectly, quickly winning $13,000 and accumulating extra spins. The crew gets excited, and Bill feels vindicated for giving him a chance. Michael refuses to pass spins and continues hitting high-value squares and earning more spins. Peter warns him he could lose everything, but Michael keeps going, eventually reaching $28,000, a new show record. The audience loves him, but the crew grows suspicious. Bill orders a commercial break and calls Peter to the office. Makeup artists tend to the contestants, and Michael awkwardly invites them and Ed on a double date, but they decline. In the office, producers tell Peter something is off. They want him to pressure Michael by mentioning odds and statistics. On camera, Peter jokes and subtly calls Michael foolish, but Michael refuses to stop spinning. Offstage, Bill tells Chuck to dig into Michael's background. Chuck reviews Michael's application, which contains nothing but a phone number, one belonging to the show. He checks the audition tape and remembers the ice cream truck. Searching it in the parking lot, Chuck finds piles of IDs, license plates, and videotapes. A security guard lends him a crowbar so he can get inside. Meanwhile, Michael reaches over $40,000. The team considers stopping the game, but can't without proof. After Michael passes $50,000, Chuck returns with files from the truck. He calls a number on a business card for someone named Lysel, pretending to be a court clerk. Lyle mentions a restraining order against Michael, and that Michael once ran a pyramid scheme. Realizing the caller is a fake, Lyle hangs up. Next, Chuck watches the tapes from the truck. Michael recorded over his family videos with old Press Your Luck episodes, specifically sections showing the big board. Chuck rushes back to the studio, watches Michael play, and realizes Michael has memorized the board's 5 repeating patterns. He explains this to the team, pointing out Michael's eye movements and early celebrations. Bill admits the board's randomness is limited to 5 patterns, and Michael must have studied them. During the next break, Sylvia hands out branded t-shirts to the contestants as an apology since their turns have been eaten up by Michael's streak. While she's busy, Michael wanders off and notices the makeup artist only flirts back when it's Peter. With no one guarding the phone, he calls home again. His wife, frustrated with his long absence, answers coldly but lets him speak to their daughter. He hangs up when the break ends and finds the mascot silently watching him from behind. The production team debates what to do. Memorizing the patterns doesn't qualify as cheating, so they need a different way to challenge him. They get an idea when Peter reminds them of the home player spin, a rule pairing a contestant with a randomly chosen viewer who wins the same prize. Back on camera, Peter explains that this episode is running longer than usual and they may film into the night. Michael has nearly $70,000 and still has spins left. When the home player spin arrives, Michael opens his card and is horrified to see the name, Lyle. Panicking, Michael still manages to time his spin and wins a Hawaii luxury resort trip, meaning Lyle gets one too. A spotlight suddenly shines directly into Michael's face, blinding him for a moment. Both he and Janie complain, so another break is called. The network CEO arrives, furious that the board uses only 5 patterns and wanting to know who approved Michael. Bill falsely blames Chuck. Janie argues with Sylvia, believing Michael is getting special treatment. She mentions the phone call, and Sylvia drags her away. Michael tells Ed that the show is targeting him, insisting the name on the card wasn't coincidence. Ed begins to suspect Michael is doing something wrong. Overwhelmed, Michael wanders off and finds the phone missing. Chuck confronts him and demands to know who he's been calling. Michael panics and flees the studio. He hides in his truck and discovers someone broke the lock. A guard ignores him when he asks for help, and a cop nearby claims he just arrived because the studio requested backup. Seeing police everywhere, Michael thinks they're after him. After hiding for a while, he sneaks back inside but enters the wrong stage. Another show's host mistakes him for a guest and invites him to sit. Michael says he just wants breakfast with his family, and being on TV is the only way for them to see him. He explains he's done everything these past months for his daughter. Sylvia eventually finds him and drags him back. Meanwhile, Chuck learns Bill blamed him. He storms toward the team, but a staffer points out that audiences nationwide adore Michael. He's becoming a folk hero. The CEO decides they can use this as a massive publicity event, promoting him as the luckiest man in America. Michael continues winning. Back at his desk, Chuck reviews Michael's phone and hits redial, reaching Michael's wife. Soon, Michael surpasses $100,000, over $300,000 in 2025 money. The crew celebrates until Peter announces a special live call for Michael. It's his wife, who angrily tells him she's had enough of his schemes and demands he sign divorce papers. She hangs up, leaving the studio in stunned silence. Michael panics and leaves the stage, triggering another break. The producers demand to know who approved the call, but the sound tech shows them a note signed by Bill. The editor suggests cutting the moment and continuing. Sylvia then reports that Michael refuses to return. Bill talks to him and admits they know he's gaming the board, but they can't stop him. If he wants the prize money, he has to finish the game. Calling him a star and national hero convinces Michael to return, on the condition he can call his wife first. But once he picks up the phone, he realizes he doesn't have the courage, so he returns to the stage without making the call. For the next round, Michael surprises everyone by passing his spins to Ed. The audience cheers his generosity while the production team is horrified. Bill angrily smashes the souvenir plate. They decide the episode will air only once and then be buried forever. After Ed and Janie finish their turns, Michael uses his final spin, pressing the button with his eyes shut. 2 weeks later, Michael's family watches the broadcast. Liesel angrily turns off the TV and takes their daughter to school. Michael's wife turns it back on and sees that Michael won everything. When Peter asks what he'll do with the money, Michael replies that he doesn't know. The story is based on true events. After Michael's episode, the network added 27 new board patterns and imposed a $75,000 winnings limit.